Welcome back to the Humboldt. Lights.
Got it?
Utterly awesome story.
Welcome back to the Humboldt Report. Our next story is about Humboldt County's largest agricultural industry.
And here's a hint. Got milk?
That's right. It's dairy.
Last year, Humboldt Creamery went bankrupt, forcing local dairy farmers to find other ways to sell their milk.
Ashley Bailey shows us a day in the life of a dairy farmer.
Domingo Santos gets up every morning before dawn to go to work. He's run his Arcata Dairy farm for more than 50 years. He says the climate in Humboldt County is perfect for raising cows.
We got the pasture base, which is very valuable. See, our cows get out to pasture, they eat, and they lay down, enjoy the sun, the weather.
Wendy Acres Dairy has been in the Santos family for nearly 100 years. Santos says times have changed, and now he relies heavily on automated machinery to complete the daily milking of his cows. But even with machines, it's not easy.
You got to have some experience. You got to understand cows, know cows. You got to start someplace.
Jim Brugman drives his shiny long milk truck every afternoon to Wendy Acres Dairy. It takes only 30 minutes to pump about 2,000 gallons of milk from a giant holding tank inside the milking facility to his truck.
It pumps about 150 gallons a minute, so that's about 2.5 gallons a second.
After he loads up, Brugman delivers the milk to Crescent City, where it is made into Rumiano cheese, and not one drop stays behind.
I haven't drank raw milk in a long time, so it's something you have to get used to.
I had to see for myself. It's not bad. It's warm. It's fresh out of the udder. At the end of his typical workday around 6 p.m., Santos goes home to his wife, Mary. He says she wants him to retire.
Of course, there's going to come to a day I'll have to. When I get disabled, I guess. Or she hits me over the head with a bottle or something.
Although the cows are mostly numbered, there are a few with names. The bulls, like Charlie, for example. He had no comment. On this dairy, there are about 350 milking cows, and only 4 bulls to share all the lovely ladies. For the Humboldt Report, I'm Ashley Bailey.
Just like dairy, commercial fishing is important to California's North Coast. Fishing helps keep the community sustainable, but can the industry sustain itself? Matt Hawk has a report.
Thousands of fish like these blackcod are dumped onto the docks of Pacific Choice in Eureka almost every week. It's quite a catch, and at first glance it looks as though it's an easy one to pull in.
Mother Nature, she's almighty, man. She controls everybody's fishing harvest.
Kevin Pinto owns 3 fishing boats. He has been fishing off the North Coast for the past 40 years and has seen the industry change firsthand.
When I first started fishing, there was plenty of regulation, but it was basically like the Wild West compared to it is now.
In recent years, fishing jobs have dwindled from over 2,000 to just over 700.
Unless we get a more predictable fishing structure where we understand the fish stocks and don't overexploit them, but also get out there and get some fish, we may lose the fishing industry.
The regulations in place right now are looking to protect certain species, for the fishermen to maintain a long-term viable fishery here.
It is out of this concern for marine life that California passed the Marine Life Protection Act in 1999. Some think it may benefit the fishing industry, but not everyone agrees.
I think they spend a hell of a lot more on regulation than the fishery's worth. That part I don't understand at all.
They put together groups of stakeholders to look at habitat here on the North Coast and what are the impacts to the habitat and what can we protect. I think this is a really forward-thinking kind of project that I think will benefit here on the North Coast probably more than any other region.
So, can a balance be achieved so both fish and fishermen can coexist?
I see the fishery being maintained here, and I think we're pretty unique here in the North Coast region where we are probably, we're not overfished. I think the one thing we don't have control over here as far as our sustainable fishery is the salmon.
The fishing industry in Humboldt County may never be as prosperous as it once was, but it isn't going to fade away. The industry still remains a huge part of the culture here behind the redwood curtain, and the fishermen remain dedicated to it. Reporting from the docks of Eureka for the Humboldt Report, I'm Matt Hawk.
We have found some pretty unique people behind the redwood curtain so far, and this next story is about someone who's not your run-of-the-mill type of guy. Tristan Polito gave us the rundown.
This is Carlos Jones, and there's something unique about him.
I've been baptized in running backwards. Not into that forward motion, and probably if I did, I'd probably start crying because it would hurt. I haven't ran forward in maybe 9 years.
He originally started running forward on the track, but as he puts it,
got a little bored, so I went backwards for a while. It's awkward, because it really was awkward for me when I first started. It's awkward for other people to see me running. I think one of the tricks to it is not looking over your back, is looking at the lane lines.
Hey, jump up here!
Running backwards has extra benefits that running forward wouldn't normally give you.
I haven't had any injuries all these years I've been running, but it's really good because all your impact is in your thighs. So when you land, the muscle, you hit your big muscle instead of hitting your knees. Strengthens your ankles, works on your abdominals, your glutes, in your sixth sense, peripheral vision.
Occasionally, Carlos's peripheral vision is not always on point.
Every once in a while you get a good crash in. I had hit a semi-truck parked. Wasn't there before, never was there before. So I get used to running my routes, and then all of a sudden I, bam, hit it and then bounce off of it. You just take the fall. You know, you don't look at nobody.
But once Carlos reaches the end,
you know, it's all about feeling good. So I got a good feel in, feel good, and I'm through.
No matter how you exercise, it's always important to get out and be active. For the Humboldt Report, I'm Tristan Polito.
Coming up on the Humboldt Report, a popular sport under the redwood canopy.
That and more when we return.